Comfort is slow poison. Comfort feels good in the short term, but in the long run, you are killing yourself. You're killing your future self because you're avoiding the work that you know you need to do, but you're not doing it. And what does that do? It prevents and elongates the process of who you can become. And that is it. So when we say comfort, we don't mean a nice, cozy bed. It could be any aspect of your life, whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your job, whether it's your relationships, whether it's your faith. You have to be uncomfortable in every area of your life if you are an ambitious individual who wants to achieve more. Because in this life, people who win big are okay being uncomfortable. It's like the Navy SEALs. They have this phenomenal saying: get comfortable being uncomfortable. And these are some of the most incredibly mentally tough people that you will see. And these skills are transferable in any aspect of our life. If you can get used to being in this uncomfortable, whether that's in a social situation, whether that's in a personal situation, whether that's your own personal goals, a professional setting, you are likely to develop a skill set or attributes that most people will never ever have. And do you know what that actually means for you as a human being? The competitive edge you will have? It's tremendous. You will run laps around most people. However, this world that we live in is very good at convincing us to be comfortable, to stay in the lane. Why would you want to do that? You're being too ambitious. That's not possible. No one in your family has done that. But that's the whole point of life, isn't it? That you are supposed to break the mold, to do what you truly want to do. What's the point of living life and just thinking, man, I could have done this. I could have made a better job of doing what I do. Because when we are laying down, when it's our time to go, we don't want to leave with a bunch of regrets, man. You want to come in this world, live life to the fullest. But you can only ever experience that if you make being uncomfortable your friend. That is it. That's the price that we all need to pay in order to achieve our dream life. You may think, how does that show up in your life? I wake up at 5 a.m. I take a cold shower. You may do all these things. But is that putting you in uncomfortable situations? Probably not, because you are used to it. But it's a great start though. What I'm talking about is this. It's the little things. Avoiding the work that you need to do. Procrastinating on the role. Forgetting to do the basics as a man. And what does that look like? It varies individually. Are you taking care of your health? Are you taking care of the people around you? Are you a productive individual? Are you working on yourself? Can you keep people safe? These are the things. So, if you have the option of avoiding junk food, but you eat that, does that mean you are not going to achieve your goals? No. But it means you are slightly further away where you can be. And I'm not talking about to have ridiculous levels of discipline, But I'm saying, if you are unhappy with where you are in your faith, in your relationships, in your fitness levels, in your finances, then you may need to cut down on eating out. You may need to meal prep. You know what I mean? You're understanding what I'm saying? You may need to, like they say, no more Starbies. That's it. So it's the little things. You may need to say, hey, I'm not going out today. I've got work to do. I've got to work on my business. It's 9 p.m. and I'm making content. I could be watching Netflix. I'm not. I'm doing this because I'm building my future. This is uncomfortable for me to speak on camera, to produce, but it's something I want to do, so I'm not going to avoid the work. So these are the things. And it's interesting, when you do grappling or jiu-jitsu or wrestling, you often come across some of the people, right, where they are so mentally tough. They are so well conditioned at being being comfortable in very uncomfortable situations, because that's the way you grow. When you start jiu-jitsu, if you haven't done that before, when somebody's mounted you, i.e. somebody's on top of you, right, and they're trying to suffocate you, they're trying to get you into put a submission on you, man, it's uncomfortable. But you know how you get better? It's by learning how to defend. But you can only learn how to defend if you're comfortable being in an uncomfortable situation. Because the minute somebody gets on your chest and you start screaming, you're going crazy, dude, you will never learn. You will be that guy people avoid because you can't take pressure. And that's the only way we grow as human beings. You have to be able to take pressure. And this is why they say pressure makes diamonds. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So this takes me to my own personal experience, right? When I was 165 kilos, 365 pounds, I was dead broke. I had lost the business. I was depressed. I was working shift work at McDonald's, at warehouses. Dude, the easiest thing to do there was to give up. To say, I'm happy with the bare minimum. I'm paying my expenses, albeit small, but I'm just living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not going to have these luxuries I want. I'm not really going to have a relationship that I truly want. Not date the type of woman I really want. Right? And what's going to happen? I'm not going to have the time freedom I truly want. I won't be able to travel to the places I truly want. It was easy to give up. It was so easy to give up. Not live in the place I fucking want to live in. Live in a box room? Dude, that was my reality. But you know what changed? When I said, that's not going to be me. And I genuinely meant it. That was not going to be me. Dude, it's so easy to decide that you don't want that. Because the minute you decide what you truly want, something changes. Now there's accountability. Now you are you're going to be put in uncomfortable situations. Like myself, I needed more money. What that meant was I needed to be uncomfortable, i.e. apply for new roles. What that meant was I've got to be okay with rejection. And I could not quit. And this is the thing. How did I lose weight? Okay, I'm not eating shit anymore. I'm not going to be eating from McDonald's. I'm going to take my meal prep. with me to work, and I've got to figure this out. I've got to make time to go to the gym and lose weight. These are the constraints that came, but I accepted that because that was the life I wanted. Now, I challenge you to one thing. I knew myself, and I decided I'm going to be too dumb to quit. Hell, I don't care. I will go through hell. But what I'm not going to do is quit on my dreams. And I want the same for you. So I want you to choose one part of your life that you truly want to change, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your finances, whether it's your fitness, whether it's your business that you truly want to achieve and excel at. And just tell yourself, I'm too dumb to quit. No matter what happens, you're going to grit it out. And you will get there. No matter how long it takes. If you can develop this mindset, there's nothing that you won't be able to achieve. But it comes at a cost. And the cost is you have to be uncomfortable. That's it. And if you can accept that, you're good. But if you can't, then you're going to be uncomfortable anyway. So decide what sort of uncomfortableness, if that's even a word, that you can tolerate. And if you can do that, like they say, choose your heart. Choose your uncomfortableness and decide what you're not going to settle for. And then just be too dumb to quit. I'll catch you next time.